Alright, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back today into another video. Today, I want to talk about a shadow nerf that happened to Lillith. I know this because I was testing out Lillith recently, and I also tested her out a couple of patches ago, and I know for a fact that this is not meant to happen. First of all, let's talk about a little bit of a bug. Curse Accord says the following: decrease the blood cost of your abilities by 35% and increase your healing down by 15%, but reduce the damage you do by 25%. That seems fair to me, right? It's pretty fair. I can actually hide this so you can read it. It's right there behind me. Okay, and essentially what this means is that you're going to be doing overall less damage but more healing, and that's fantastic. But there is currently a bug. If I go with this talent and we go here and let Fernando take a bit of damage, I want you to pay attention to the ticks. First tick 115, and then the others are all just 125, 150, 175, and it goes 25 and 25, one on top of the other. So why did it went from 115 to 125? That is because, and I quote, when it says that it increases your healing done by 15%, which is right there, you can see behind me, it is only doing to the first tick of the right click and nothing else. It should be increasing per every tick. It is not. It is increasing by the first tick. All the other ticks are normal. So sometimes taking Curse Accord, the only thing that it's doing, it's indeed actually just increasing the amount of heals you do with Swarm. And the shadow nerf, however, that I'm talking about is what I'm about to show you. I don't think it is related to talent. A couple of patches ago, they decreased the duration of the Swarm, which made even Kronos way more valuable. And I know that a lot of people still don't like Kronos on Lillith, and I understand that, but the difference is, for example, with Kronos, I can place one circle, full charge circle, and then I can place another one, and I start charging the last one as soon as the first one goes away, right? The game does not allow you to place more than two swarms, all right? Like I can legit show you. I'll do the just tap circles, and you'll see that as soon as I place this one, the first one disappears. And you see how forced it was, right? So essentially what it does is the game forbids you of having more than two swarms out. And that's absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's the same thing with, for example, barracks turrets. I understand that, I agree with that, and that's obviously how it should work. I mean, otherwise the spam would just be ridiculous, all right? But here is the nerf that they did. They did something that if you have two swarms on top of each other, and you know that the swarm does both damage and heals, but if the enemy is standing inside of that circle, they'll be affected by damage on the first circle. And the second circle, if they were already there before, once it's triggered on top of the first circle, they will not take any damage for it. So essentially what they did is they prevented damage from stacking on the swarms of Lillith, which I kind of understand. But first of all, it was a shadow nerf. They didn't say this anywhere. And second of all, it is actually bugging out now, and I'll explain why. Because, and just the simple explanation right now, it is that even if they are standing inside of two circles at the same time, sure, they can just take damage one time, but at least they should continue to take damage because the second circle is still active. But in reality, what is happening, and I'll do just small circles so you can understand. He's taking damage, and now I'm placing another one. Now notice as soon as the first circle ends, damage is no longer applying, and the circle is still there. So essentially, it nerfs the second circle. But don't worry that healing is still apparently doing that. The healing is still normal. They changed this function. Now I can show you here that this is going to be different here when people get out of the circle, come back in. I'm going to place two circles. And notice how Pip is getting in and always taking damage. So what am I trying to say? If you have a circle on top of the other and the first one ends, the second one will not do any damage because the person is standing inside of the two circles, right? It can only take damage once. It's fine. I understand that. But because they did that, they bugged it. And the only way for them to take damage for the second circle is to walk out of it and walk back in. So essentially right now, it is actually more beneficial for you to do damage Lillith to never place circles on top of each other. In fact, make sure that they are actually spread out with a bit of distance so that they are forced to walk from one to the other and walk away from the circle to then enter another one without them having any connection whatsoever, the two circles. That's the shadow nerf. Not just a nerf, but it's also a bug, because it should continue to do damage because the second circle is still there, but apparently not, because they made it so that it can only take damage for one. So what I'm assuming is that the code assumed that because there's two, ignore the second one, and because of that, once they're still inside of the second one, well, they're not going to take any damage now, are they? Because you told the game to ignore it. And if you don't believe me about the healing still stacking, let me show you here. I'm just going to put Cassie to do some damage. We're going to place one circle here. Look at the numbers, right? I'm going to place another one, and you see here that it's healing way more ticks there. You see the spam of ticks there. So it is good. It is good when it comes to healing. When it comes to damage, however, it is not. It is not. And I understand that there's a need to nerf the damage that Lillith was pulling off because she was doing so much heals and damage at the same time. But I'm going to be straight up honest. This isn't fair. Okay? If you want to do a nerf like this, you gotta at least announce it to us, because it may not look like it, but there's a ton of people like me who love to play Lillith, and information like this is essential, very essential. Not only is it a bug that needs to be fixed, and that's fine, but a bug happens all the time, but the information itself of not allowing for damage to stack. Do you understand how many times we might place circles, 2-3 circles on a point while we're waiting for the team to just group up and go back in? Like maybe our point tank died and we have the clear view on the point and there's a Khan and a Ram in there, and we just place one circle and then we place a second circle. Guess what? The second circle is not going to do anything, because since they're on top of each other, the game is now bugged and assumes that you should only take damage for one time, and that is for the first circle, because the second circle is now bugged due to the shadow nerf that they did. So this type of information needs to come over to the patch notes at all times, even if it is, I don't know, a mistake that you forgot to put it in there. But as soon as you notice it, please announce it. Please. Because with this, I would have tested this out on PDS. I don't know if it was on this patch, if it was the patch before. I did notice that these last two patches, there was a decrease on the amount of Lilliths in competitive. And I thought maybe, you know, because of the nerf to the duration and the card blood cannon also being nerfed, maybe that was the thing. But no, there was an extra nerf that it may not look like it, but it's massive, okay? And that's my point. First of all, the first talent should be fixed with a right click, and second of all, this bug should be fixed, and third of all, the nerf to the stacking damage should definitely have been reported, and I hope that they actually end up doing that, because right now I'm giving you information through this video, but not everyone is going to be watching this video, so how is everybody even going to know about this? So I asked you for one favor and one favor only. Try to spread the word about this into everyone who you think that might play support, Lillith, whatever, just in general. You see somebody playing Lillith, let them know. Listen, the damage on the swarms, they don't stack. You can only harm them once, even if you put 2 circles. And right now there's a bug. The second circle on top of the first one will do no damage even if after the first one ends. Let them know, okay? Because until that gets fixed, people might be playing damage Lillith thinking they're doing massive damage and so on, and they're not, okay? And that's pretty much what I got to tell you. Thanks so much for watching. If you know of anything else that was changed and we don't know about, or was not in the patch notes or anything, please let us know, okay? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Till then, have a wonderful time. I'm out. Bye-bye.